Hello everybody, Benjamin here again. Let's do another quick video. I'll just keep this one short. Being an outlaw as a single dad, kind of breaking the law all the time it seems. I wanted to talk about it, vent a little bit about it, and I'm getting these stories all the time, almost every day, and it's hard, but I'll end it on a positive note. With just our rampant breakneck speed of nixing dads out of families' lives. It's just happening at an unbelievable pace. I'm only allowed to see my child on certain days. This is what I mean by outlaw. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I pay my taxes. I mind my own business. I'm pretty normal, pretty boring. I don't have a wild criminal history, anything like that. I've been pretty much a straight shooter as long as I can remember, for the most part. I am the chief of sinners. At least that's what I go by on here, and I'm very well aware of my shortcomings. But being a father is not one of them. I love my role as a father. I have not been a bad dad, as best I can tell, since my child was born. Not one day. And what I mean by being an outlaw is this. I'm doing this cherry flavored tobacco today. It's not as good as the other one that I like, the Old Black. It's really smooth. It's really nice. But this one isn't bad. I'm just going to top it off here. Give it a little go. If I try to see my child on a day that's not designated by the courts, thanks to the fallout of our relationship, I'm breaking the law. I could be held in contempt of court for trying to see my child on a day that's not mine, right? So, per court order, I am allotted these certain days that I have my son, and then if I try to see him on anything outside of that, I could be held in contempt of court. I could be breaking the law, right? Especially if the other person deems it so. Here's another one. I used to agree with child support. Like, oh yeah, I'm going through a divorce. Of course I want to help support my kid. Recently, I've changed my mind on that. I think it's a bad thing. I think it's robbery, and I think it's indentured servitude. Child support and spousal support, back before no-fault divorce became a thing. If a man left his spouse to go to be with someone else, or wanted to go travel or make more money or whatever it is, or she wanted to leave for that matter, then these men were just skipping town and taking off and leaving a destitute single mom with destitute children. So to prevent that, they started child support, spousal support, where the court would court order these men to pay these things. And if they didn't, and these are like bad men, bad fathers. They just want to skip out, leave their life behind, and start over, do something else, right? They would be put on these court-ordered things, right? Now, spousal support and child support are for bad fathers, bad parents. I mean, more and more now, even women, if they make more money, are starting to have to pay these things. But this was made for bad dads. Men that just cut out and they left. But the problem with that is that these bad, irresponsible men and fathers and husbands aren't going to pay that. They don't care that they break the law, and they don't care that they have to run and pay fines or whatever. They don't care. It's the good fathers and the good husbands, or husbands that were trying and failing, but trying nonetheless, right? Those are the ones that get put on spousal support and child support. And those are the ones that pay it. because they're not bad men, they're not criminals, right? Women love to have babies with criminals, and men that are going to skip out. Not all, of course, not all. Please hear me out, but you get what I'm saying. And so it's the good dads and the responsible men that want to raise their children. And in order to raise their children, they have to go through the court of law. More than likely, because that's how it's going to have to go. You guys can't agree on things, and so a complete stranger has to decide how you're going to live your life. So, again, if you don't pay your child support, you can be held in contempt of court. It's tax-free, by the way. It's a good way to make money, ladies. Divorce your husband with kids and make sure he pays child support. You get tax-free money. If I don't pay my child support, men with guns that are capable of violence can go put me in a facility where criminals are housed. If I try to see my child on a day that isn't my day to see him, it's possible that I could be held in contempt of court, and men with guns that are capable of violence, meaning the police, can open a case on me and find out what I'm up to and possibly take me to a facility where criminals are housed. And mind you, I've never been a bad dad a day in my... I mean that. That's best I can tell. I've never been a bad father. I have a friend that tried to call his children on the phone. He was having a day, missed his kids. And then he, once a week, something like that, for a few weeks, he kept trying to call his kids on the day that wasn't designated by divorce court, if you can believe that. There are days that you can actually talk to your children. On the phone. And it was construed, I'll say, that he was making harassing phone calls. He wasn't calling her. He was trying to talk to his children. He wasn't trying to harass them either. He just wanted to speak to his children and see how they were doing, right? And it was threatened on him that you are making harassing phone calls. You need to stop. Otherwise, blah, blah, blah. Charges, right? So this is the way single dads are treated in the divorce court, even though most of them didn't even want out of the relationship. Not to say that they were great husbands, not to say that they weren't bumbling idiots, but trying to work things out. This is so normal. I don't have time for people like, oh, well, he must have done this. And it may be so, right? He must have been a bad dad. He must have been, he wasn't romantic, whatever it was. He must have been abusive. I get these stories almost every day. I understand that there are certain cases, but it's not the majority. And then when you go through the divorce and you're put on child support, it's a rent, really. You have to rent your child from your ex and the government. Which leads me to, why are men not getting married? This is exactly why. I will not be free of the government in this situation for many years to come. I have many years left to do this. The good news is that I get to practice a lot of patience. I get to practice a lot of self-control. I get to practice a lot of prayerfulness and self-regulating. It's extremely stressful, and it probably, the divorce, they say, it takes like 10 years off your life. I probably lost 10 years of my life going through it, but it's actually really good. I have to say, it's really, really good. There are certain things about being a single parent that I don't love. That's true. But it is amazing. It really is amazing. And I get to raise my son with the values and at least on my time, and my way of wanting to raise a son without any hindrance. It's wonderful. So don't hear that it's all bad. Divorce is all bad. It's all a sham. Especially if you're a churchgoer and you're a Christian, and now you're like less of a citizen in the kingdom of God or in the church because you're a single parent. Forget all that. It doesn't matter. The church does a horrible job as well of nixing fathers from their homes. They're just as complicit most of the time anyway. But what I do want to say, so I know it's a lot of doom and gloom of post-divorce, and this has so many implications. I mean, it's like, why are we over 10 million men short in the workforce? Because men don't have to work as hard anymore. They don't have to work as hard. They're not, most young men especially, they'll probably never get married. They don't want to, and they'll probably never have kids. And so why would they work as hard? Why would they go slave away somewhere to make a bunch of money when they're just not doing it? And then divorced men like myself, it's not what I wanted, and it's not ideal, but it's really not bad. It's really not bad. Yeah, it's like Greg Adams, a YouTuber, says, it's like, I have peace, quiet, and freedom now. I have peace, quiet, and freedom now. And so I work as much as I need to take care of my son and I. I will be switching jobs eventually because I do need and want to make more money. But for the time being, it's perfect. I wouldn't have it any other way. I've been very blessed. Again, I didn't want to be here, but here I am, and it's been a blessing. Really, it has been. And so just, when guys get put on child support like this, and I can only see my kids certain days of the week, otherwise I'm breaking the law. I have to pay a certain amount of money. If I don't pay it or I can't pay it, I'm breaking the law. If I try to reach out, make a phone call on a day that's not mine, it could be construed that I'm breaking the law, right? You're an outlaw as a single dad. And just make the most of the time that you do have with your kids. It's a real blessing. It's a real blessing. And let me say again, like I always say, Lord have mercy on us all, right? We don't know what we're doing. It's like Christ on the cross, it's like, Father, forgive them for they don't know what they're doing. It's like, God, forgive us all. We don't know what we're doing with these divorce cases and nixing fathers from homes and just divorcing as quick as you marry. It's fast food divorce, man. It's just in and out, and everybody's destroying each other. The breakdown of the family is destroying our country. And the fact that it's so easy to do, and the church is no better. It's not helping anything. I'll just end with that. The good news is that it does get better. It's very pleasant, not having to fight through things. You take the time as you have it through the divorce court mafia, and you pay what you have to pay, and you mind your own business, and you raise your kids. It's not bad. It's a real blessing, actually. So keep that in mind. Yeah, Lord have mercy on us all. That's all I know. Just a thought. Because I'm hearing these stories every day. I get a phone call or a friend tells me about someone going through it. And like, oh, so-and-so. And I realized this morning, I was so close to losing parenting time. I mean, everybody that I know that were missionaries and have lost time, they're all, not all, but most of them, they're all divorced. They were horrible divorces. And two of my good friends lost parenting time, significant parenting time. They almost never see their kids. And I feel very blessed and fortunate that I have this life that I have now, because it could have went very, very different, and that would have been horrible for my son. So, but God have mercy on us all. That's all I know. Hope everybody's doing well. Fall is in full swing, and I don't know. I really do hope you're blessed and you're well.